Hello, my friends. SAmaryllis here to keep playing Cinders. We just had our scandalous tangent with Tobias and then had a rough conversation with Gloria, as I am wont to do in this Grim Fate path. So we're gonna continue on from there. So Cinders is back in town. She's saying choices, choices. Watch out, Cinders, or you may get used to it. And here we are going to go to the store to see Tobias again. Tobias deserves another visit, especially as Carmosa is getting back tomorrow and it may be hard to see each other again. This playthrough is all about Tobias and then dying. Can't forget that part. Hello there, Mr. Merchant. Hello, Cinders. What brings you to my humble establishment? By all means, you should be in bed at this hour. You had a busy night. I must say, I'm impressed by your energy. Oh, something tells me you knew I would stick around and get back to you faster than usual. Oh, they're, flirting back and forth again. Such is the principle of good service of any kind. A satisfied customer always comes back for more. Cinders and Tobias are really talking in a lot of metaphors, very extended metaphors. It seems to be like their thing. It happened last episode too. Ooh, now this is a strangely appealing way of explaining finances. Now that I made you blush, I can see how pale you are. You look tired, Cinders. Who has time to sleep when there's so much fun to be had? So, how was your day? I'm glad you asked. Something strange happened that I need to talk about. That, or I'll start wondering if I dreamt it. Oh, did you win the royal lottery? Just as improbable, I actually had a conversation with Gloria. Oh, I'm sorry. Was that it? The unreal thing was that you talked with your sister? So I presume it was something more than a simple exchange of insults? To be honest, I'm not sure what it was myself, but it was very different. We were both speaking, and I think this time she was listening. She also said that I'm free to do what I wish today. Now that's just awkward. Would you like to get some herbs? I'm sure she must be ill. But I'm serious, Tobias. It may seem like nothing to you, but believe me, those little things that are probably ordinary normal families, they don't happen in our house. Maybe she sees and understands more than you like to give her credit for? With all the blindness that comes from her resentment towards you, she'd have to be a complete fool not to realize that she cannot control you indefinitely. It sounds manipulative and complex, so there's a large chance that it's exactly what made her, or Carmosa, give me a day off. There's also the slight chance of Gloria just trying to be nice to her sister for a change. Do you think that's even possible? Oi, boss sir, you wouldn't happen to have a new task for your old mate now, would you? Gold has a habit of running from me pockets like cats in heat, and your last payment... Oh, bollocks. You! The pretty bird? Now this isn't a friendly get-together. If I'm the bird, then what does that make you? You certainly have a way of appearing out of the blue anywhere I go. First in the woods, then in my own house. And now here. You must be the most popular person in the whole kingdom. In any case, you came just in time to answer my questions and answer them fully. And candidly. Okay, so on the path that I took initially, I met the shady character at the tavern, where Captain Pearl also was. So I guess on this path, I get to see the shady character at Tobias's. Such terrible words come from that pretty mouth. Frankly, Cinders, I'm curious as well. A bit uneasy, but mostly curious. Oh, it's all very simple, really. 2 days ago, you came to our home to talk with Carmosa. I want to know what it was about. But I've told you it's nothing big, lassie. Rumours are me trade, so keep your petticoat on. So there was a little gossip for a little coin. Everybody knows that Carmosa smiles only when she learns she can get something for free. Why would she pay you? Little Missy sure's curious, and so's the old lady. She's even more curious than she is stingy, and so she pays generously. Very good, my friend. You're more clever than I thought. finding out what kind of information interests someone like Carmosa. Actually, knowing her in the first place, say, you never told how exactly did you meet Lady Carmosa? Gossip's me trading devil will take me if I'm giving anything for free, 'cause some lassie fanned her lashes. That's all, a trade secret. Am I right, boss, sir? She does have a point here, and her questions certainly piqued my interest, or curiosity, rather. I reckon the little birdie picked something up all right. Tell her. Nasty business, mates. Nasty ambush. Methinks I'll just run for the door now and call it a day. It's been swell talking. Not a step. As a law-abiding subject of our prince, I'm obliged to report any crime or mischief I know of to the captain and his guard. I'm sure Perrault would be happy to get something solid on you, but suspicious behavior and conspiracy will have to do. I'm sure it's enough to grant you a lovely night in the dungeon. Wow, Tobias. Wait, I couldn't believe you snitched on your old mate, boss, sir. It's business, nothing personal, friend. It is absolutely not business, Tobias. Fine, I'll tell you. But only the missy here will hear it. Bloody hell, some demon speaks through those red lips. You must take me for a complete fool if you think I'll let her go alone with you so you can flee. Oh, it's all right, Tobias. He won't run. Will you, boss? He knows that it would force me to inform the captain, whom I saw just a moment ago, right outside the store. Yes, missy. Anything you say. Very well. See, I knew we'd come to an agreement sooner or later. Would you like to step outside and tell me everything, my friend? Yes, missy. Lead on. Are you sure about this, Cinders? Don't worry. We're all friends here, after all. Strong-arming her way, just talking the shady character. Alright, let's stop here and talk. Not exactly a hiding place, middle of the town, eh, love? Sure could use some more privacy. I'm not going to give you a chance to escape now, and don't try anything stupid. The captain's right on the other side of the street. Remember that. Fine, you little devil. I'll tell you what I know. Just don't yell if I can't remember all the details. I've short memory. You've heard my question already. What was the message you brought to Carmosa? A dashing young gentleman like yourself should have no trouble recalling the last few days. Blazing hell, lassie, you and your adder's tongue. Aye, I remember. So I was out in the woods, resting me head in the ground, enjoying the peace and quiet that only nature can bring. Calm shimmer of the lake, away from the wickedness. Don't digress. Over the city, sleeping like a brat I was. Do you often sleep outdoors? Why were you sleeping by the lake? No, that's a mighty good question, innit, love? Can't say I know the answer, though. I just woke up there. Old magical place, the pond in the woods. Me auntie used to tell me stories of... Get back to the topic, will you? But I'm on it. I woke up and I heard voices. Thought 'twas just like me auntie's stories of the fair folk, you know. Made of light and wisp, prettier than the finest ladies they are. But they were no wisps. And what happened then? A head? What else? This head stood upon this neck because it knows when it's time to jump back into the bushes. You know what I mean. Who were those people? Oh, an excellent question, Birdie. My gut tells me you will love this. 'Twas the noble Captain Perrault, and he was talking to... the prince? The prince was talking with Perrault in the woods? It seems a bit strange, doesn't it? What were they talking about? Oh, some posh problems of the rich folk. Too much free time's bad for the head. Our future His Royal Highness kept on whining about wenches of all things, how they're all empty-headed or boring to talk to. The prince was discussing women? There he was! Very uncleanly of him, if you ask me, and foolish too. Who cares if the bird's dumb or dull? That's not what I want from me wenches. Yes, wonderful. Now, back to the subject, please. What did they speak of? The captain says something about rules, but I didn't hear that part with me head still spinning and the water shimmering so loud. Don't know what they meant, but the prince was mighty happy and said something about the bull. The grand bull. He got some idea on that royally empty head of his. I heard it's 'cause of them crowns. Very bad for the head. Anyway, there was a new idea that he liked. The grand ball? It doesn't sound familiar. That's the excuse they made up so that the kings and princes can pick their wenches like vegetables in the market. Only regular folk don't crown the cucumbers they bought as queens. At least, not often. So it's a tradition. Yeah, that. They always use that fancy name if something don't make no sense anymore. So what was the prince's new idea? It was about masks? Making all the lassies wear them. Okay, so the grand ball was going to happen anyway, but the new idea had to do with the masquerade. You mean a masked ball? A masquerade? Oi! Didn't know the rich birds are so horrid. I don't think it's because of that. Did he say why the masks are so important to him? It has something to do with the elders, the families, lots of lords and ladies waiting to trade their daughters and only one prince. Too much competition's bad for business and tempers. So he's trying to dodge accusations of being biased. Clever. Oi, I knew that. Don't know what's wrong with seeing a nice face though. And what if the bird's got a pimple right between her eyes? Won't notice nothing with masks and such, unless he wants to ogle their curves. Ooh, bit on the nasty side, nobles. Me auntie told me stories. Gossip really about the shenanigans going on between them nobles in the palace. Stuff that make a confessor blush. Alright, I get the picture. A masked ball, you say? It makes a lot of sense, actually. The prince can pretend he's choosing his bride by judging her more subtle qualities, and there's no way of any of the houses accusing him of favoring one over another. Who knows, maybe he isn't really pretending. Perhaps having a choice is what he really wants. Jiblish clever, love. Glad you got the smarts to see through all that. Saved me time having to explain all to ya. Bowl full of noble birds and they all have a chance, no matter how pimply or horrid. Makes me think of Carmosa and her pretty lasses. No, not you. The other wenches. I mean, sisters. The lovely sisters. Figure the old lady would pay with kingly coin for a rumor like that. That's all there is to it. You satisfied, love? My dear friend, this isn't even half of the story I wanted to hear. You better get to the more juicy stuff right away. It's all there is to it. I swear my auntie's pimples. I'm going to focus on his connection with Carmosa. It's all fine and beautiful what you've told me, but there are so many things missing, my friend. Like, why is it so important for Carmosa that the ball will be a masquerade? But what puzzles me even more is how come you knew it'd be interesting for her in the first place? You would have to know her pretty well to figure that. This has to do with something with your past, doesn't it? You've been working for her for quite some time, haven't you? Oh, the little bird thinks she has the smarts, but with head so little, the brain must be wee too. Every bloke in me trade knows Carmosa or knows about her. The hag's famous for handing coin to anyone with a good gossip, and mine's the best. Besides, you want to know? How about asking the lady yourself? I ain't the one sharing a roof with her. But I know you know more. You can't fool me like that. I may not look it, but I work honest jobs only. Don't see you bothering your merchant friend like this. Methinks this chat's over, lassie. I told you all I know. No point in milking this cow for more. I know you're still hiding things from me. Told you all I could, and that's more than most folk get anyway. You're a lucky little bird. Best I leave you alone now. Don't you dare to turn away. Cheers, love. Oh, he's gone. That crook. Why couldn't I make him spill? So, the whole grim fate ending has to be that Cinders doesn't know anything, and then something bad happens because she doesn't know about any of the money problems. Heavens, I even begin to sound like him. Maybe it's for the better? Who am I trying to fool? It's not for the better. I needed his knowledge to get leverage I could use with Carmosa, and now it's all gone. What am I supposed to do now? Maybe I should just go for a walk and think about all this. Can't see a way how I could spoil that. This just isn't your day, Cinders. This is the turning point. This is the mess-up point. It's astonishing what a simple walk can do to one's spirits. If I'm going to miss the freedom to do something, then above all else, it's going to be the freedom to wander about whenever I please. When I walk with no specific goal, no destination, I can just switch off and observe my thoughts jumping into their little drawers. With each step, I can feel my muscles relaxing. And strolling through the market has its moments too. I saw the most gorgeous shoes. Not that I can ever afford them. They were crazily expensive. I get that they were imported from the Eastern lands, but at that price, they should be made of diamonds and dragon skin. Who buys something like that? I mean, I know I would if I could, but that's beside the point, right? Yeah, forget about it. No reason to dwell on such things. It's such a pity that the big red bat is coming back tomorrow. Today was pretty uneventful, but it's been so nice simply being able to talk to people like an ordinary person. Then again, this day wouldn't be as pleasant if it weren't so rare for me to feel free. It's almost sunset. I should be getting back home. So long, freedom. It was a pleasure. Hope to see you soon. Maybe you could come and visit sometime. Or at least write. Okay. From the choices I made, we don't even have the fairies as an option because I didn't leave any offerings. So can't go to the forest. We're going to go straight to the residence. Back to the same old. This feels almost like coming back to prison and out of my own will. After 2 such wonderful days of freedom, it's depressing to know I need to go back to my ordinary life. There, out in the real world, I can meet amazing people, have actual friends. Here, I'm trapped between Carmosa's plots and her poor daughter's bitterness. Sometimes I wonder, what if I were to vanish from the woods? Would anyone notice or care? Maybe that's the answer. Getting lost in the wilderness, befriending an uncivilized but noble tribe of rather short miners, becoming their princess, and spending the rest of my days being adored, praised, and... get a grip on yourself, Cinders. Carmosa, along with that crazy hairdo and strict rules of hers, is due to come back home tomorrow. If I'm to have any chance to change my life, I really should think of something, and soon. I'm really tired. It's time to go to bed. And tomorrow morning, I can't wait. It will be a bliss. Okay, so Perrault and the prince had their conversation about Perrault's retirement or his choice to join as the master spy. Sophia woke us up. It was actually the same dialogue as in my other playthrough when I was actually friends with Sophia. And now Carmosa is going to speak with all of us on her return. I certainly don't like this. Carmosa seems keen on interrogating us and getting every detail of what happened while she was gone. If you did what you're supposed to do, you wouldn't need to be nervous right now. Just a thought. Of course, because everything is fair and honest around here, and I certainly won't get blamed for things I have no control over. I think you do enough on your own not to need any additional blame. Your constant rebellion should get most of Carmosa's attention. And how will Carmosa have an idea about who rebelled and what rebelling actually means, huh? You are not seriously suggesting that I would tell on you, are you? I'm trying so hard to do well here and take care of you two. And Sophia, she wouldn't just stab you in the back like that for no reason. Would she now? Well, I certainly do not feel as safe as you describe. Okay, so my sister might have an interesting idea of fun. Exactly. She is twisted as a corkscrew and might say anything for reasons that escape reason. I think you're much too fast to judge people. You know Sophia is not evil, and we sure as hell both know that living in this house can be hard, so... Sure, Sophia's a delicate little flower that means nobody no harm. She just defends herself when necessary. Sure, she's cynical at times, even vicious or cruel, and yes, speaking to her often resembles fencing. Thanks, that helps. But here's my point. She only does that when it's safe. She wouldn't stab you in the back or do anything against you where it counts. Just because Sophia has uttered some sharp comments about morality doesn't yet mean she's actually grasped the concept, not to mention agreeing with it. I had no idea you could be so resentful and full of hate. What gives you the right to judge Sophia when you yourself are so cruel to her? What has gotten into you? You hardly ever talk to Sophia, and when you do, one of you usually ends up in tears, and now you're defending her? I don't think I need to explain myself. I was just asking, but fine. Let's just wait for Sophia to come out and see what she has to say. Well, it's not like we have many alternatives. I hate waiting. It shouldn't take long. Carmosa's not someone to beat around the bush. True, she's always to the point. No excuses, no diversions, no mercy. Oh, let's just wait. Okay, so slightly different dialogue because Sophia hates me and Gloria kind of likes me, I think. You're back. That was fast.
Aren't you happy to see me? I'm fine. Sorry to disappoint you girls.
So what was the talk about?
You'll find out soon enough. It's your turn, and I wouldn't keep Mother waiting if I were you.
All right, I'm off. Wish me luck.
You might need it, so good luck, sister.
Good luck.
So, are you properly nervous yet? You know the experience will not be a pleasant one.
Do you always have to do this? After all this time, I'd be an idiot to fall for those games of yours.
Precisely why I keep them up.
Just stop, please. I am not going to indulge your weird need to quarrel and provoke someone until they offend or humiliate you.
Oh yes, I forgot you know everything about me, and how wise of you not to indulge me in conversation. I sure would like to see you try the same with Carmosa in a minute.
And to think Gloria defended and spoke well of you just a second ago. She almost got me to believe in you.
You shouldn't always believe what you hear, and you should hope Carmosa doesn't always believe either, because Gloria should be speaking about you right now. I wonder what Gloria will tell. Aren't you worried?
I'm not sure. She seemed all right when we talked, maybe a bit unsettled.
I know my sister. She doesn't show emotion until Mother orders her to do it, but on the inside she was raging. I think she might spill some of that onto Mother's ears.
The hell with that. These past few days reminded me of what freedom felt like. It was worth whatever punishment Carmosa might throw at me.
You've either lost your mind or forgotten what Mother is capable of. Nothing is worth what she'll come up with to make you regret your actions.
We'll just have to wait and see, won't we? You're back. How was it?
What do you mean?
Well, was it, I don't know, unpleasant?
Of course not. Why would it be? It was just a normal conversation.
Normal for you, perhaps. Come on, Gloria. I can tell it wasn't that smooth.
Stop being so nosy and start asking proper questions. Did Carmosa tell you about her plans?
In fact, she did.
Oh, of course she did. You earned that special little place on her lap.
Sophia, please.
Shush now, Cinders. So what do you think of Mother's latest great plot? You would think she had learned not to expect the impossible of us, or anything big, really. And maybe it's time to live up to her expectations. You are a grown-up now, Sophia. It's time for you to work on managing your responsibilities. Oh, you're hopeless and stupid. Some of us are simply not built for greatness. If only you focused on doing something useful half as often as you do on sharpening that vicious tongue. You must speak plainly. I'm too stupid to understand complex sentences.
Okay, so what are Carmosa's plans exactly?
Oh, I'm sure she'll explain everything in a moment. Now hurry, don't keep her waiting. You know how angry she gets when someone's late.
Oh yes, I feel like this is going to be quite an adventure. And I'm about to enter the beast lair. You called me?
Yes, I did. Come in and close the door. I'd like you to explain something to me.
I have learned some very disturbing things about what has been happening here while I was gone. Apparently, you discovered a new pastime, wandering about like some commoner, visiting who knows whom, going who knows where. While my daughters take care of our home on my behalf, you are having long walks. This isn't simply improper. It's also selfish and irresponsible. I wasn't doing anything wrong, and frankly, it's a bit insulting to hear that my own sisters would speak of me that way. Nothing bad happened. I'm back, am I not? I just wanted some, well, freedom. That's all.
Freedom? What nonsense. No, girl, freedom has nothing to do with this. This is selfishness, plain and simple. And why do you need to make up such absurd excuses? Why can't you, for once, admit that you acted irresponsibly? Why not say, I am not the only person in the world, and perhaps add something like, I'm sorry, too. Believe me, that would be a nice touch.
Well, maybe my behavior is so imperfect because I don't have a good role model.
Enough! I have no time for childish quarrels with insolent brats. We have an important matter to discuss. It has to do with my plans for our family. Okay, so we just had our talk with Carmosa. We did not mention anything about the money problems because I need to do that to get the Grim Fate ending. And then from there, we went through the usual cleaning the house, going to the tailor tomorrow kind of spiel. And right now, there was a knock at my door. What was that? Who would knock on my window at this hour? Some shady character it must be. Let's see. Cinders! Psst, Cinders, it's me, Tobias. What are you doing here? Never mind, come in before someone sees you and tells Carmosa she has yet another reason to mop the floors with me. It's good to see you in such a cheerful mood. I'm sorry, it's just that Carmosa is back and she has such a soothing effect on people around her. Oh, I'm sorry to bother you and risk her getting mad at you. It's just that I had to see you. You did, huh? And why would that be? I knew you'd have a hard day today, so I figured you could use some cheering up. Was I mistaken? Correct, as always. I didn't quite hear you. Could you say it again? Preferably put that in writing as well. I said that humble merchants should stick to their numbers since they tend to be mistaken when it comes to people, even if they do things right from time to time. Oh, I'm deeply wounded. I am not sure whether I want to take you on that secret date I had planned for tonight. Oh, I love this idea for cheering me up. I should be sad more often. Don't be. I think we can figure some different and pleasurable way of spending the evening for times when you are happy. So, what do we do now? Can you sneak out the house a while? Sure, and I know a great place we could visit at this time. Are we going to the lake again? Yes, we are. And here we are. How do you like this spot? Is this the secret place you come to think quietly or relax, or simply to hide? Yes, it calms me. I feel safe and relaxed here. More at home than at Carmosa's Manor, I guess. That's why I come here. I like it. It's beautiful, and secluded enough not to worry about sharing the view or your solitude and thoughts with some random stranger passing by. Somehow, I sometimes feel safer with no people around. There is no soul in sight. I bet we could scream at the top of our lungs and no one would hear us. And why would any of us scream, you think? Because I am not in the mood to repeat the sounds from last night. Oh, so that was the association you got from what I said. Very nice. That's not what I had in mind, but just for the record, I'd like to state I approve of your trail of thoughts. Just for the record, of course, with no agenda to recreate those events. How could I doubt your intentions? Indeed, how could you have? Of course I've missed you in many ways, but what I meant this time was this place is peculiar. There is a weird atmosphere here. Apart from you almost rhyming, I don't really know what you mean by weird. Sure, steer clear of the atmosphere here, my dear, 'cause something's lurking near. Now I'm quite sure there's something in the atmosphere here. It certainly influences the senses. But I'm serious. It feels like there's something hiding in the shadows on the shore or beneath the lake's surface. Or maybe it's just the fairy tales and children's stories talking. Really? The stories told about this lake make you nervous? Well, let me just say I think you're quite brave to come here alone. I feel chills thinking about the stories I've heard. I always found them comforting. My father usually created a friendly world full of mystery, fairies, and adventure. I used to love entering it while listening to him. Yeah, your father had a way with children, and stories. He was a wordsmith. I used to love it when he came to do business with my parents. Sometimes I still miss him a lot. I'm sorry. Your father was a wonderful man. I guess he was. You guess? Ever heard of a child with a clear and objective view of their father? I remember him being an all-knowing wizard when I was little. Then I became a teenager and grew out of his stories at least a bit. And he miraculously changed. The wise man was suddenly gone. Oh yes, mine somehow did the same. He changed horribly. It must have been an epidemic of some sort. Now, I actually do believe he was wise. His stories taught me many things. All my father taught me was how to count money. And mine was a big child, at least partially irresponsible when it came to everyday life. Everyone has flaws. At least your father taught you something practical.
Ah, yes, the grass is always greener in somebody else's yard. My childhood was fine, but I always thought yours was better. Remember the good parts, not only the flaws. You've clearly missed your calling. You should have become a philosopher, not a merchant. I did consider it, but the pay was way lower. Somehow, people are willing to pay much more for candy or spices than for wisdom. So that is what I'm selling. Penny for your thoughts. Do you believe it? Believe what? Well, the stories, the fairies, magic in this place, everything people say. Would you think I'm very silly if I said I did? Considering what the stories said that happened to those who said so, especially here, I wouldn't dare to utter a word of contempt. Well, that's settled then. I do believe a bit, and you don't judge me. I think my father's story stuck a bit more than I expected. And recently, this place, strange things have been happening when I come here. I don't know. Seriously? What happened? It doesn't matter. Forget I said anything. Nothing happened because I didn't leave any offerings. So, you wanted to talk about something? I wanted to get you out of the house mostly, help you relax after a tough day. Mission accomplished. I do feel relaxed already. Just let's not come back yet, if you don't mind. Of course. Also, there actually is something I can't get off my mind. Should I get tense again and brace myself? Please let me know in advance. I'm serious, and I need to know if you are serious. About us, that is. I thought that was obvious. Of course I am. Do you want more proof? I'm sorry, but I had to ask. I mean, you were enjoying your freedom for the first time in years. You could finally do anything you wanted, and I seriously advise you to stop now. Yes, I am serious about us. Now drop the subject before you start insulting me. I'm sorry, I really am. But if you are, have you given any thought to what happens now? You're right, I haven't. Sorry, my stomach keeps rumbling. I'm hungry. I was so concentrated on Carmosa and the events of the last couple of days. Sorry. Well, I have, and frankly, I have no idea what we could do. And I'm sorry, but sneaking about and meeting once in a blue moon in secret is not an option for me. Don't you like it now? The thrill of no one knowing and sitting in the secret hideout? Of course I do, but I also want to be able to go out with you in the evenings, or take you places I like outside of the town. I want to boast to the world that we're together, and I'm not sure what to do to make that happen. As long as my situation in Carmosa's mansion is the way it is, we have no real options. Alright, so now that's settled, we need to change that situation. And how do you propose we do that? Well, we could leave that situation behind entirely, leave all this behind and start normally somewhere else. Compared to Carmosa, it can't sound that bad, can it? It certainly has its appeal, but maybe we don't have to do anything so drastic. I'm sorry, but leaving things the way they are basically means breaking up. It is a valid option, but let's not do that, shall we? That's not what I meant. I guess I was just wondering whether things could change here. Nothing's impossible if you want it hard enough, right? Right. Let's assume things can change. How do you think we should proceed? Well, if the world is against us, we will have to fight the world, bend its rules, and use what we have against it. I like it that you sound so decisive, but are you sure that is a proper way to act? Sorry, my stomach keeps rumbling. I swear I had dinner. I don't know why I'm so hungry right now. It took me just 2 days of bending the rules to get the best bachelor in town to speak about the future, and you dare to doubt me? How could I have? I see your point, and I apologize. You truly are good at this. Something is happening at this house, some events that Carmosa has planned. I see no reason I shouldn't exploit them to our advantage. I'm glad you see a way out, because I must admit I wasn't so optimistic when I came here. I'm glad I could cheer you up. Let me know if you ever need that again. I'm serious. Look at the odds. Our chances are just so slim. Life's not a fairy tale and love doesn't always prevail. To the contrary, I would even say it usually doesn't. I didn't quite hear you. Could you repeat what is that does or does not prevail in this case? Oh, right. I did say love, but that is beside the point. Oh no, that is precisely the point of all this. You're changing the subject, and we do need to concentrate and think of something fast. Regardless of how I feel, it may be simply impossible to be together. Oh, you are in such a cheerful mood today. Alright, my dear Doomsayer, what can we do in your opinion? I really don't know. Stacking up odds is what I do. Profit and loss, chances of failure and success. Today, the numbers make no sense and give me no clue to this. I need you to change my life, Tobias. Please don't say that. During the past few days, it was you who showed me what life can be. I need you. I need you to continue changing my life. I know I can do it, but not alone. You are my catalyst, and if I'm to succeed, I need your support and confidence. I'm sorry. You've already risked a lot to get here, and all I do is doubt. I know you are capable of a lot of things, and I know there is a chance, albeit slim. I'll try to be what you need me to be, I promise, and I'll help you any way I can. What can I do? Man, Tobias is so unreliable. I'm glad I didn't go with him the first time I went through this game. You could start by believing in me. I need to know you're there, that you're waiting for me at the end of this road, and that you trust me. I never thought I could be that important for someone. I don't know what to say, but I'll be here for you in any way you want, and I do believe in you and us. I'm glad we understand each other. See, the future isn't as dark as it seemed. Certainly not, when we can sit together at the lake and hold hands. Yes, let's concentrate on that, not on the problems and obstacles. Can we be a normal couple for a while? Watch the stars and each other's company? I don't know about you, but I'm already doing that, enjoying your company and the stars. Do you remember how this conversation started? What do you mean? I threw a pebble at your window and... No, not that part. I mean, when we came here to the lake, and I said I'm not in the mood to recreate the events of that night. Or are they gonna get the sexy times on again? I do seem to recall something vaguely, but I'm not sure what you meant. It sounded so improbable. So, what do you have in mind? I might have changed my mind, but I wouldn't want to impose. Impose? Let me show you. Wow, the Cinders and Tobias path is really all about the sex, huh? Okay, so Cinders is alone again, Tobias went back home, but we are going to stop here for now. Thank you for watching. This has been SAmaryllis playing Cinders, pursuing the grim fate ending. And I guess also with the Tobias lovin' ending. So, again, thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Have a great day. Remember to be kind to yourself and to others. Goodbye!